Hello and welcome to Gohan Always Trains. So I'm gonna try some what if on my channel. I know I've probably already technically done this with my what if Papyrus, Undying, and Sans teamed up, since that's not something that happens in the game, so that could technically be considered a what if. But now I'm gonna try some Dragon Ball what ifs. I was inspired by Sacred Saiyan to do that. I also watch other Dragon Ball what if YouTubers, and I wanted to contribute my own idea to the what if Gohan never stopped training idea, except my idea is what if Gohan always trained? So, like, when he was a kid, he trained. So that's what we're going to start off with today. So Gohan, when he was a kid, obviously was very young, so he couldn't train much. But here's my idea: we know that he was studying from like almost the moment he was born, because Chi Chi wanted him to become a great scholar. But he could study more if he used his power while he was training, while he was reading and stuff. Like, so if he was at higher power, because we know that like when they're moving faster, so he could like read books faster if he used his power while he was reading and stuff. So Gohan like does push-ups and stuff while he's reading his books and writing and stuff. So I think by the time that Raditz arrived, Gohan, after training for about 4 years of doing basic push-ups and maybe Goku could teach him to do some basic punches and kicks and stuff and some basic key control. I think Gohan could have, with his great potential, could have realistically reached a power of around 200. So that means that nothing would really change until his rage boost against Raditz after Goku and Piccolo fought Raditz. He this time when he headbutts Raditz, he would kill Raditz because of his greater power. So Raditz would just die slightly earlier. Although this does have a major impact, meaning that Goku would not die to Raditz. So then we move. I still think Gohan's training with Piccolo would happen. It's just Goku would be involved. So when Gohan eventually turns into a great ape against Piccolo, because of his greater control over his power and not being unused to having power, I feel like he would be able to gain some sort of control and be able to revert himself back to normal instead of completely raging out and Piccolo having to destroy the moon. So then, when the next change I see is when Nappa kills Piccolo. Because Gohan was training with Piccolo and he already had higher power, he could train for an entire year and had a much higher power. So when Piccolo dies, I think Gohan may be powerful enough to become a Super Saiyan this time. He also would have a stronger bond with Piccolo from a full year of training instead of 6 months of training, since Piccolo wasn't involved in the first 6 months really when he was just surviving in the wilderness on his own. So I think Gohan would become a Super Saiyan and would kill Nappa with his first blast and then would go to fight Vegeta. Now, obviously, Vegeta would be pretty outclassed by this Gohan since he's a Super Saiyan, and that's a 50 times multiplier. So obviously, Vegeta would try and turn into a great ape. And I feel like this would be a pretty long fight since he would definitely even himself out a little more, and also Vegeta's a lot more experienced than Gohan, although he doesn't train. So Gohan would fight Vegeta until eventually Goku showed up, and then Goku and Gohan together would be able to defeat Vegeta. Although I feel like Vegeta would still escape ultimately, like he does in canon, because Goku would spare him and he would get into the space pod and leave. So that leaves us pretty much normal. Gohan would obviously revert back to normal and not have access to just transforming to a Super Saiyan at will yet. But it does change quite a lot, and I feel like it changed a lot in part 2. This is part 1 of What If Gohan Always Trained. We will do part 2 soon. I also plan to do some other stuff besides just Dragon Ball what ifs and stuff, but this is part 1 of What If Gohan Always Trained.